Spring is back at the beach, and so is the Misquamicut Springfest 2026. 3 days of live music, amazing food, rides, and oceanfront energy. There's music for everyone all weekend, with country on Friday, 90s on Saturday, and feel-good soul on Sunday. Plus, incredible food vendors, carnival rides, and free parking. May 8th through the 10th at Misquamicut Beach. Skip the line and get your tickets now. MisquamicutFestival.org.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Misquamicut Tonight. My name is Ben Barber, and it is May, which means it is time for Springfest. You can feel it in the air. I went out for a drive today, listening to music, going down to the beach. I'm so excited. It is Sunday, May 3rd right now, and we are just 5 days away from Springfest kicking off on Friday night, May 8th, with Country Party Night. I'm so excited. Let's talk to the man that puts all of these festivals together and everything else down at the beach, the executive director of the Misquamicut Business Association, Caswell Cooke. Caswell, it's the nicest introduction I'll ever give you. How's it going, man?
Well, I'm growing older, but not up.
That's true. That's very true.
So yes, we are 5 days away from Misquamicut Springfest. You are absolutely correct. It's I can't believe it's here because we've had such a long, cold, dark winter, and I believe people are ready to come out. Even though we've had a kind of, with the exception of a couple days, we've had a pretty lousy spring, as springs tend to go lately in New England, where it's just kind of rainy and chilly. But this afternoon, I noticed a little glimpse of sunlight, and we are hoping for good weather next weekend at the 17th annual Misquamicut Springfest.
That's crazy. That is crazy. And that means that this fall, we will have completed 34 festivals down at the beach of these twice-a-year festivals, which is crazy. Now, I know you had a couple festivals in the summer, music festivals, but that's pretty sensational. When do you start working on this?
When the festival ends, we start working on the next festival. I mean, I take a little bit of time off after the season from stuff to decompress my brain. Like, I don't immediately go into Springfest mode, because obviously there's more time between Fall Fest, Springfest than there is between when we get done next week. We're going to have to immediately start planning for Fall Fest.
Right.
It's become part of just what we do. I mean, we got a good crew. Amanda Para, who's been with us since the second festival, so she's been with us for 17 years. Rebecca Green, Linda Capalbo from Shoreline Sanitation. These are people that are heavily involved in the planning of it. And then, we got to just go through the permitting process, which is never easy. Between state permits and town permits and fire marshals and electrical inspectors and ride inspectors. And, they don't make it easy to do events like this. And, people say, well, how come you have to charge admission? And I say, oh, let me count the ways. Yeah. Between the requirements of certain amount of police, between the requirements of even right down to an impact fee they charge us just to be on a parking lot. So I'm not complaining. A little bit I'm complaining, but it's a lot to get a festival off the ground, and it takes a lot of people. And just because we've done it 17 years, it doesn't mean that each year there's not a new challenge. There's a new rule this year that for every 250 people at an event, you have to have one person that takes a training class in crowd management. So that's just the latest edition. So on Tuesday, there's going to be like 15 of us taking a 3-hour class on crowd management. Now, whatever, we do what they tell us, but so when we get past all of that stuff and we come to Friday at 5:00, it is exciting because the gates open and the fun begins. And for us, kind of the summer begins with Springfest, even though it might not be, 90 degrees out, but it should be good festival weather, as we say, when it's like in the 60s, upper 60s, whatever, even lower 70s if we're lucky. But we're doing a lot of different stuff this year. The layout's different. The parking is going to be different out of necessity. So this will be a very unique festival, but I think people will enjoy it, and it may even be easier to access than before, with caveats.
Of course. And, those are the types of things that are challenges, but they also make it exciting and make it fun and different and new every time. And of course, the stuff that is the standby, whether that be all of the incredible food trucks that you have, the great vendors, the fantastic Rockwell amusement rides, the great music and musicians that come in, the roaming vendors, the people in the exhibition area, whether that be, keepers, martial arts, or what have you. What's really fun about it is if you go on one of those rides from Rockwell Amusements, like if you go on the Ferris wheel at the beach, it's a memory you'll never forget. Being able to see all the way out to Block Island, and it's really incredible, the view from the rides, which is one of the things that makes this so special. And it's also really important. These events are really important for the Misquamicut Business Association. And it's important because, like you said, it takes a lot of money to put these festivals on. So you have to make the money back for that. And then when you guys make money on these things, which, a great rule at the beach, if the sun shines, people are making money down at the beach. But Misquamicut is not just that state beach. It's a 3-mile long village, and there's dozens of businesses and all of the incredible musicians that are going to be gracing the stage. Friday night is country night, which is something kind of new at the festival. Caswell, tell me about that.
Yeah, Friday night's going to be great. We're doing something new. We have a band called Whiskey Boulevard that's coming on at 5:30. So the festival starts at 5 o'clock on Friday. We've changed the hours a little bit. We've shortened it actually a little. So instead of 5 to 11, it's 5 to 10. We just figure it gets a little chilly towards the end of the night, and let's just tighten it up a little. So if you arrive between 5 and 6 on Friday, you will only pay $5 admission. So although the admission is $14, you don't have to pay $14. You can pay $12 on Eventbrite.com. We even had a $10 special. That's over now. But you do not have to pay $14. You can pay $12 if you go to Eventbrite.com. But if you want to pay $5, then show up Friday night between 5 and 6 for the $5 special. You can stay all night. Whiskey Boulevard at 5:30. Great band. I saw them at Mohegan Sun Wolf Den last winter. I said, they got to come. And then, Morgan Wallen is just a huge act. And we figured a Morgan Wallen tribute band would be great. They're flying in from Nashville, I think. They are great. They are playing on Friday night at 7:30 in the prime time slot. So 7:30 to 9:30. And they will sing all of your Morgan Wallen favorites. And we also will have WCTY in the house. They are going to be, they're going to be sending one of their folks down to MC that evening, and it's going to be a great night of country music at Springfest. So that's Friday night, and then we get into a Saturday, and we have a band starting off the day called Diva and the Playboys, starting at 12:30. So we open the gates at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Diva and the Playboys at 12:30. And then after them is going to be this band that you've probably never heard of, Caswell and the Peelanites. We're going to be singing our songs, Yacht Rock. We have a song called Coconut Kevin, a song called The Beach, and we're going to be playing those songs. And then when we get off the stage, there's going to be a little bit of a break, and then we're going to jump right into the 90s with a band called Saved by the 90s. Is it kind of like Saved by the Bell? And so they're gonna be there. They are our headline act on Saturday. We've never had a band tributing the 90s before, so it should be a lot of fun. And then after they're done, we're gonna do something completely different that we've never done before. We're gonna have a DJ. What? There he is. Look at that.
He did not approve that image.
No. So Chris Walsh is a local legend. He started off a long time ago working down the clubs at the beach. Way back, the Atlantis was there when he was a kid. He got picked up by Kiss FM in Hartford, and he used to do the Kiss Club. So a lot of our tourists from the Hartford, Springfield area would know Kiss FM and would have remembered Chris Walsh if they were around in the 90s. Anyway, MTV hired him to do a CD series called MTV Party to Go, Volume 1, 2, 3. He mixed those. They sold millions of copies, and that's why he's got all the bling. No, that's not the reason he's got the bling. So Chris Walsh is going to be performing on Saturday night. Now, remember, the stage is right next to the Beer and Wine and Cocktail Garden, which is run by the Windjammer. So it's right next to the stage, and it'll be the whole weekend. Then when we get to Sunday's entertainment, we're going to have some really cool bands. It's a little more of a chillaxing day, if that's the word we can use. It's also Mother's Day. So we're going to kick it off right at 12 o'clock with Massive Groove. They're a great band. We're going to follow up Massive Groove with another band called Le Mix. And you can see they look really cool with the horns and stuff, just a kind of a bit more of a soul vibe and horns and, funk, that kind of thing. And then the final band of the entire weekend on Sunday afternoon is a band called Wild Nights, who have played around the whole area before. I will say that with the exception of my band, this weekend features bands that have never played at Springfest before. Now, I just want to let you know that we do have Rockwell Amusements. We do have the food vendors. We're going to talk to them this week. We do have arts and crafts, all that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of difference this year. The entire festival has switched around. So because there's construction going on at the State Beach parking lot, which is a good thing, they're adding a whole bunch of entrances. They're doing a lot of great improvements to make the summertime easier. The construction
is very happy in a couple months.
We will be happy in a week or two. The trouble is the construction is not finished yet, and it won't be 100% finished by this weekend. So while we can have the festival in one half of the parking lot, the half of the parking lot is usually for parking is off limits. It's blocked off. I mean, we get to use it for like vendor parking and like for the police and the fire engines and stuff. But the main entrance to the State Beach is not the main entrance anymore. So when you drive down to the State Beach, you got to go past the State Beach. And in the grassy area down by Sam's Snack Bar, there will be about 400 parking spots. And that's where the main entrance to the festival will be. Have no fear. You go right past the State Beach. There's all those town lots, Sam's Snack Bar, Wishkenow Beach, the drive-in parking lot, the Bayview Fun Park parking lot, all those parking lots, the town, they're all going to be open. It's pre-season. The parking's free. The Windjammer is going to monitor their lot, obviously, because they're open and you got to be a customer to park there. But for all those rest of those lots, just come on down and, what's the difference if you're walking from one end of the State Beach parking lot to the entrance, or if you're walking from the drive-in parking lot to the entrance? It's a little bit of a walk, but that's what it is. It's a little different. It was either that or not have the festival. And we really wanted to have the festival. So you're just going to have to bear with it. And that's just the way it is for this one time. But everything's going to be there that you come to expect, with the exception of the Classic Car Show. That's not going to happen this one time. Other than that, it is. And then we get through this weekend. By the next weekend, their lot should be ready to go for Memorial Day weekend. We're also going to be opening the drive-in the following weekend on May 15th with Jaws. So everything will be back, to normal. So just bear with us on the parking. Just allow a few extra minutes. And we'll have people that'll be running, helping people park and things like that. So we'll get you into the festival. But my final thing I'll say is the times. Just note the times: 5 to 10 Friday, 12 to 10 Saturday, 12 to 5 on Sunday, and that $5 special for the first hour on Friday at Country Night from 5 to 6, $5.
And that's in person only, right?
In person only for that, yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say. And I know that you're gonna talk about some more stuff every single night this week. You're gonna have bands. You're gonna have Amanda. You're gonna have a food vendor or two. You're gonna have someone from Ben and Jerry's. So I would say, we talked about the entertainment, and that's kind of my thing with this. But the amusements are always second to none. It's Rockwell Amusements. They're the best at what they do. Amanda's taking care. You see her picture there. She's going to be bringing in all the wonderful food vendors, all the arts and crafts vendors, the commercial vendors. And you're going to hear about all this stuff as the week goes along. So I encourage you to tune in every night at 7 o'clock.
I'm sorry. Yeah. This one's my favorite. I just loved that I just put a pint of Ben and Jerry's on the thing.
Well, that's all you got to do.
Yeah. That was my favorite.
Anyway,
I'm excited to talk to them about it. So
I think it's going to be great. So I turn the rest of the week over to you, but I encourage people to come to Springfest Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Come on down.
Absolutely. Thank you, Caswell Cooke. And guys, we will be here every single night at 7 p.m. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Spring is back at the beach, and so is the Misquamicut Springfest 2026. 3 days of live music, amazing food, rides, and oceanfront energy. There's music for everyone all weekend, with country on Friday, 90s on Saturday, and feel-good soul on Sunday. Plus, incredible food vendors, carnival rides, and free parking. May 8th through the 10th at Misquamicut Beach. Skip the line and get your tickets now. MisquamicutFestival.org.